Hey guys, welcome to the Stars in the Making. My name is Ricardo Ngolo, Shams Vision. Behind the camera, as always, our staff for today is a very special guest. As an owner of Many 96 brand, is a bodybuilder, and he overcame so much, which is I'm really glad to share his story. He's here to share his story, and we're gonna go from there. Please, let's welcome the one and only Philip. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Man, he took us a lot to get here.
I agree.
Yeah. I really appreciate you. First of all, I wanted to know about your story. Can you tell us about yourself?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. So I moved to the States in 2015.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of a third culture kid. So I was in a couple of countries before I ended up here in the States.
Right.
But my story, pretty much everything just happened at the right time, I think.
Beautiful.
You know?
Yeah. There is one thing I wanted to know. I wanted to know about the heart condition that you had. You told me the story. I was really touched by the story. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I turned 22,
yeah,
I was already very active into fitness.
Mm-hmm.
I started working out when I was 19.
Right.
I guess I overexerted myself to the point that my heart kind of got scarred.
Yeah.
And I was in the hospital for weeks.
Wow.
So for weeks I was in the hospital, and they told me
that happens here in the States.
That happened here in the States.
Yeah.
Never had any issues like that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any history of any heart conditions in my family.
Yeah.
But that happened out of the blue, and I think the reason behind it is because I was just pushing myself so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God. And there is like one thing that we spoke about how you overcame everything, because you told me like you lose weight, so much weight at the time, and you were really coming from that condition was really hard. Yeah. And I know for sure there is like many people out there that they need this push. That's why we are pushing this narrative, like, I know what you overcame just to get to the point where you are today. Absolutely. And it's just like, I saw the picture, man, like, and you were a beast, you humongous. That's why I call him, like, I was talking to Shams Vision, I was like, man, this guy is going to be the next Black Panther for sure. Yeah, so can you tell me, like, what was your motivation to overcome all that, to start your gym from the very start and to get where you are now?
Okay. So after I graduated in 2013, I moved to Nigeria, which is where my dad is from, my family's from.
Right.
And I was really trying to get into university over there.
Mm-hmm.
The system over there is pretty corrupt, and education there is not the greatest.
Right.
I feel like I spent 2 years of my life kind of just trying to get into school, and then when I finally did, my papers for me moving to the US came in.
Right.
And ultimately, I had to start from scratch. And after I graduated from high school, that period of time that I was supposed to be in college, I just tried to use it productively. I was teaching myself how to design.
Right.
So for my main job, I work as a designer.
Mm-hmm.
I do blueprints for houses, and I work in the architecture industry.
Yeah.
And I was
awesome.
I was just trying to teach myself as much as I could. Use my time
wisely.
That's
what did you study in school, by the way?
So I was going to study civil engineering back when I was in Nigeria.
Right.
And then ultimately when I came to the States, I realized my passion was architecture. And the school that I first went to, it didn't have an architecture program.
Right.
So the closest thing was engineering design. So that's what I took at Mass Bay Community College.
Oh, wow. Oh, what's up? That's where I went to. I've been in Mass Bay. Yeah, I did my 2 years there as well. Yeah. That's awesome.
Great school, great town.
Yeah, I love it. It's a nice school, definitely.
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, how was, talk to me about your brand, Many 96. And I see the work you put in this brand is so much, man. We really appreciate you. Again, I was talking to my team. We're talking about the effort that you put into your brand. We really appreciate your mindset and what you're doing with it. Talk to me about what is behind Many 96.
Okay. So what inspired Many 96 is, well, the name Menelik which was the name of a very excellent black person.
Right.
That was forgotten in history. Menelik II, he was the emperor of Ethiopia.
Oh.
And I shortened Menelik to Meni.
Yeah.
Just so I could kind of keep that.
Okay.
And then the 96 part of it is because I was born in 96, and I feel like I've always had this mindset or this drive to want to basically like conquer or just do something great. So
I love that.
That's where the 96 came from.
Wow.
And just from the start, like I've always had that mindset. So.
Wow, that's great. We're talking about Africa.
Yeah.
And I always, of course, as you know, I'm originally from Angola, and we have this quite like similar story. Of course, you know, we both from Africa, we're both Africans, and we know our hardship and everything we go through.
Absolutely.
And I know, like, especially for me, like giving my own story, I love to talk about my family because that's a driving force that, you know, always when I'm going through hard time pushes me to get to the next level.
100%.
Yeah. So can you talk about your family a little bit, like how they inspire you in some kind of level?
Okay. So I'm the last born of 5.
Yeah.
So I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Awesome.
I feel like I kind of learned from everybody in my family.
Beautiful.
My dad kind of came from nothing. He was born in a very, very poor part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And he lived through a civil war. He had nothing at some point.
Right.
And he really built himself from there because he wanted to succeed. He put himself through college, through school. And ultimately, he ended up getting a job that enabled him to travel around the world.
Right.
And he is a very big motivating factor for me because he's been to all these countries, and he always says like he's been to almost all countries in Africa, and I've always wanted to kind of experience that. Right. I mean, I was lucky that I got to travel with him. Right. And it really kind of shaped my outlook on life. Like, awesome. I saw the way different people had different cultures and they lived differently. Yeah. And it made me more cultured. It made me more understanding and accepting of other people's cultures. Awesome. And I always wanted to keep that. Okay. But the driving force that my family brings to me as a person is basically the struggles we face together. There's been times where we're just moving from country to country, and every time we'd have less, you know? Right. Every time we'd have to let go of things. We'd have to start from scratch, and I'd always lose friends, lose contact with friends. There's some people I grew up with I never spoke to again. And that happens throughout 4 countries before I moved to the States. Wow. So there's no lifelong best friend, you know? Right. Lots of things that I missed out on, you know? It's what it is.
Oh, of course. And one thing I wanted to know as well, like one of my very experienced, you know, you have your dad as your inspiration, which is we have different stories, but we can take inspiration in many different ways. For me, I had my mom always as my motivation. You know, I grew up, my dad, he was, you know, he fought in the Civil War as well. But after he came from the war and all that kind of stuff, he started drinking so much for some reason, which is happening with many people out there. I'm not ashamed about my story. Just there is many people that, you know, they don't like to tell about their stories because they feel like ashamed in some kind of way. But yeah, anyways, what I'm trying to say is my dad, he drank a lot. And he was pretty much an alcoholic, so I had my mom like a driving force. I love my dad, may he rest in peace. He passed away 2 years ago. But I always use my mom. You know, when I came to the States, I'm the oldest actually in my family, and my mom did a lot for me, just for me to get here. It's a long story, of course. We talk about with Sham's vision that we're gonna do a podcast just on that. But anyways, I see my family as, you know, a driving force for me. Everything that I do, because coming here, I remember I have this picture frame in my room of my mom, you know, coming to the bus stop with me, with my two sisters. And as you know, back home in Africa or whatever, in a third world country, it's like either you were super rich or you were poor. There is no in between. But the poor we're talking about, it's not what they portray on camera, like here on the media. Like, they show maybe some little island with kids like the belly popping up. That's not the Africa we're talking about here. That's way different. It's so funny. Like, let's not get into it because it's so much. If we stay here, we're gonna stay here forever. Anyways, I remember my mom coming with me to the bus stop because my mom, she lives in the province, not in Luanda, the capital city, because obviously my whole family is in Luanda. But anyways, she came with me to the bus stop and my two sisters. And the only thing that she told me was, do whatever you have to do. You go, do whatever you have to do, just get things done and finish school. And for me, just listening to that, my two sisters there looking at me, like, with eyes like that, I was even crying at the time. I was like 16, 17 years old, I think at the time. Man, when I got here, I remember that very picture, my mom giving me that, talking to me, do whatever I have to do, to get things done. It's always, every time I'm going through hard time, I go back to that's why I'm saying family is something it's very important. Like, instead of using your story as your weakness, we can always use those stories as our driving force to get to the next level. So that's why, like, these stories are very important. And if I graduated from college and whatever I did up to this point is because of that, remembering that just to get things done, to get to the next level. I think that's very important. Not feel ashamed with your story, but use your story to get you to the next level instead of using it as a weakness. If you were a foster kid or whatever you were, like, grab your story and use that as a force to soar instead of staying there. Because I see many people, when I talk to people, I think we're talking about it while we were coming here, they see their story, like, when they don't want to talk about their story. Like, if you were a foster kid or, you didn't grow up with parents or whatever it is. But now we have technology, we have everything. Even if you didn't go to college, like, college is not the only solution.
Absolutely.
But you can always find a way to educate yourself, either books or whatever it is, like entrepreneurship. And there is many kind of ways. So, so that's the thing. That's why it's very important to use our own story as our guide to get to the next level. So, did you want to talk a little bit more about Africa, like the hardship? How did you come? What is like make you come to United States in the first place?
So, in the first place, my mom moved here when I was really young. So my parents kind of had a period where they were apart for a very long period of time.
Right.
So she moved to support the family.
Yeah.
She couldn't just stay home and be a housewife. My dad was working on his career.
Right.
My mom moved to the States. We had some family here. And then, obviously, her story was tough. She slept on the floor.
Yeah.
She stayed in my uncle's basement.
Yeah.
They weren't always treating her well.
Oh my.
I'd always get the phone calls of her crying. Just telling us sad stories. And we'd always tell her to hang in there. We were her motivator.
Right.
Like, her family back home, she knew that there's something greater for us.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But not just that. So the fact that we were able to come here was basically dependent on her struggle.
Right.
You know? So when we eventually did come here, like, I made a promise to myself that I would always work as hard as I can to repay that favor. You know?
Beautiful. I hope, like, many people out there have the same mentality, because there is many kids or many people that don't have the same mentality, that they should use their story as the greatest, assets or whatever they can think, like something to motivate them to get to the next level, which is very important. And tell me about what can I say? Tell me about, like, how did you become like a bodybuilder?
Okay.
Yeah, how did you started with that?
it kind of started when I had a lot of free time in Nigeria after I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
I started working out at home. There was no gym I could join. There was nothing. I had nothing to do.
Right.
So I'll just do body weight exercises. I'll just do push-ups. I'll do pull-ups where I could.
Yeah.
And for weights, I would just find whatever heavy object I could find. Whether it was a rock or something, I would make like a makeshift dumbbell or barbell, you know. I was very creative with it. You know, I had to start working out. It's something I always wanted to do. And I used to play sports in high school, so I wanted to stay active.
Oh, nice. What did you play?
I played rugby. I played soccer.
Oh, damn.
I played basketball. I wasn't always the greatest.
You're really fit for rugby, man.
Maybe
you're
now.
a monster.
I was a very skinny kid. I'm telling you.
I saw the pictures, man. That's why I was like, whoa. I sent the photos to Shams, and we were talking about. I was like, damn, look at him. You were pretty skinny, or becoming like this monster, humongous, and plus like the heart problem that you had.
Yeah, I lost all of it, man. Like when I went through that, I lost all the weight and I had to start over.
All over again.
I had to start over.
Oh my goodness.
You don't start from scratch when you fail. You start from experience.
I love that.
You know. So when I lost it all, obviously people were just saying, my God, look at him. He lost everything. Yeah. He's the shadow of the man he used to be. That's what I
gossiping around.
People whispering.
Right. Oh my God.
And that just made me
motivated
hungry.
you.
It made me hungry, and I came back quick, you know.
Even
when I went back for my checkups, they kept asking me, are you taking steroids? Like, how did you gain muscle? So never taken steroids in my life.
Is motivation the same thing? Like we've been talking to, you know, I was talking to Eder, he gets this a lot. He's only 21, and you saw him, like podcast, he's a huge kid. He's just 21, and you see how humongous he is. It's just like his driving force. If you don't know him, you're gonna be saying, oh, he's using something, but he's not.
Nah, I know people like that.
The driving force that he has when he's training is just different. He's on a different zone. He has this similar story to us, and he's never a victim. And one thing I wanted to say, what do you want to say to anyone who feel like a victim? It's because of maybe they went through some stuff. They were, you know, whatever happens to them, you know, they think that they should, you know, they use their story to stay in the same place, but not building themselves up. Yeah. What do you say to those people?
First of all, sometimes I always get mad at my sister because sometimes she portrays like a victim mentality.
Right.
And every time she acts like that, I tell her, yo, you got to get rid of that mindset. You got to stop playing the victim. We always clash about that, you know?
Right.
But you can overcome your victim mentality by just starting from scratch. First of all, get into the gym.
Yes.
It will make you master your body.
Exactly.
When you master your body, you can master your mind. And when you master your mind, you're unstoppable.
I love that.
You can do anything.
That's awesome. That's it. Because many people out there, they still think that just because you are in the gym, you need to do some sort of competition and stuff like that. But it's not for everybody. It's not for. Yeah. I mean, what is the main important thing? Why are we in the gym in the first place?
So personally, I'm in the gym for health reasons. I got to stay healthy no matter what.
Right.
But what got me into the gym is just wanting to be more confident in my own skin. You know, I wanted to fill up my shirts. I didn't want to be the skinny kid anymore.
Love that. And you did that so well. You did it that well. And now I just wanted to, for the final question, I wanted to say, what do you want to say to those people, those startups? Of course, we all startups, and I know your mindset, like you entrepreneur. You don't want to settle for less. We were talking about, like, you know, how, you know, we want to get to a next level, you know, in our own lane, like entrepreneurship. I know this is not for everybody, but what do you say to those people that they maybe in some kind of way they want to get to next level, they want to start something else? Because we all, you know, both of us, we are startups, we have like our own business and stuff, that's the hardest part, by the way. It's not easy. How do you focus? How you keep yourself focused in order for you to get to the next level?
Okay, so first of all, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. Sometimes you could be the person that helps the entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you could scale. You could make as much money as entrepreneur. You know, you don't always have to take on the risk and everything.
Yes.
You know? because entrepreneurs, they kind of have to put everything on the line.
Yes.
But personally, I think that sometimes you just have to decide if you're cut out to work for someone for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Or you want to do something yourself. You want to be in charge of your own life.
That's it.
I've had situations where I haven't been in control. I hate that feeling. You know? I hate that feeling when
I know exactly
you're
what
told
you're
to
saying.
come in at this time. You're told you can leave at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that forever, man. I work a lot, and I've worked multiple jobs throughout school to pay for school.
Yes.
And all this hard work has to pay off some way. You know, you don't work hard just to continue working hard till you die.
That's the thing. Thank you for touching that, because sometimes, you know, I talk to many people, and then they come up to you just because you started something, and they're already talking about, oh, how much you're making, how much is that? I was like, dude, this is a startup. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to start something, you're not going to make money right away.
You're going to lose.
You know, you're going to lose more than you're going to win.
Exactly.
But what the most important thing is your mindset. How do you look into that? Because this is a long-term goal. Yeah. And nowadays, our society, like, you know, we see people, they want everything like to happen just like that. Yeah. Quick. Everything got to be quick. But no, like, the hard part is for you to have that kind of like, your mentality has to be different. You can't be like a regular person. Because you're gonna lose. Regardless, you're going to lose. If you want to start something from scratch, you're going to lose. Definitely. And I was, again, I go back to Shams all the time because he's my guy. You know, we do our business together. We do everything together. We talk about this over and over. He has the same mentality as me. You know, we talk about this. Shams, we're going to start this. Like, you know, we are together on all this stuff. But the thing is, we're going to lose. We're going to lose, but we're going to have to keep going. Regardless of what comes, we're going to keep going because, like, especially for me, what I'm pushing is people coming, you know, tell our stories. You know, everybody, especially as an immigrant in this country, it's much harder for you to start. Because first of all, we're going to the immigration, like, you got to have your papers correct and all that kind of stuff. That's like the whole different topic that you have to overcome. And especially when you're not like the English part and all that stuff. Oh my God. Like, I seen many people, like, they got to this country, like, oh, I know I'm shy because I know my language, I don't know my accent and all that stuff. That's that's something that is pushing them back. I say, learn the language. As long as people can understand what you're saying, that's the most important part. Push yourself. Like, and talk to me about immigration and all this stuff. Like the hardship that, you know, sometimes maybe you went through, or just the hardship of an immigrant.
Yeah, okay. So remember, the first time I wanted to come to the States was on holiday. Yeah. Like, a lot of people I went to school with, like, they're always going on vacation to a nice country or something. My dad couldn't afford that, you know? And when I finally had the opportunity to come to the States for a visa, for a tourist visa, it got denied. That was so depressing. Like, I thought that I would never, ever step foot in this country, but God had a greater plan, you know? Yeah. He didn't want me to just visit. He wanted me to stay. So that was one of the things that I actually realized much later on. Like, everything happens for a reason, you know? Exactly. But immigration is tough because...
especially, don't want to cut you off, especially in the States. Yeah. It's not easy at all to get here. That's why I see friends that were born here and stuff, when they ask you, oh, but it's like immigration, they have no idea. They have no clue what you have to go through. Oh, yeah. That's why, like, all these reasons, like we are talking about here, that's why it makes, like, immigration or immigrants like really focus, because they know their stories. You know, we know our story. We know where we're coming from. Like, you are here and you have a whole family, like, back home looking up to you. Like, this is a driving force you gotta have. Like, you are not just working for yourself, because most of the time, if you're just working for yourself, I mean, you can give up anytime. But when you know, like, you have people looking up to you, like, you gotta make it. Like, there is no way. You gotta wait. If you have to wake up 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m., you gotta do that. And it's like, there's people that don't understand that mindset. But when you know your story, nothing can definitely stop you or not.
Yeah. That's pretty much like your why. That's your reason why. Why? I have employees that are dependent on me. Why? I have family that won't get fed if I don't work hard.
Yeah.
Why? I have people back in my country that are expecting me to send them money every month because otherwise they won't eat.
Exactly.
That why is a very big factor.
You cannot give up. You cannot give up on that.
Yeah, and that just forces you to wake up and just grind, you know?
Love that. Man, thank you so much for your story.
Of course.
For coming here, you know, you are welcome every time. You are definitely a star in the making. We can see that. We have the same mindset. I love it. We definitely love the story having you here. And do you wanna any message do you wanna send to someone out there, maybe who, like in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, whatever? You know, maybe there is a kid who is struggling right now and thinking to get somewhere in life. You know, some kind of way he has a dream, but he doesn't know how to to get there. So what is your message?
My message to them is ignore your limitations. If you have a passion, pursue that. As long as you have an internet connection, you can post content online. If you're good at something, just record content and post it. Right. TikTok is a very big reason why,
Exactly.
Like Cabby Lane's story, he lost his job and he was just making videos of himself reacting to things.
Exactly.
And look at him now.
Now you see where he is. He's the big star. It's amazing. It's amazing. The power of internet. Yeah. And thank you so much. We appreciate it. Do you want to send a shout out like back home, Nigeria?
Yeah, shout out to my people in Nigeria.
That's right.
Keep killing it. Keep making the continent proud. Like the other day, there was this Burna Boy concert, and I saw a lot of my people.
Yes.
Just like on their stories, excited about it, and now it's becoming part of the culture. I'm very proud.
That's
very proud of what the country has done for the continent. So. Shout out. Keep working hard, people.
That's right. All right. Love it. And we have one more thing. We're going to go for the game. Of course, we cannot forget that. We're going to end with the game right there. And let's do it. All right. Shams Vision, can we do it now? Sure. All right, Philip. You ready for the game?
Yeah.
All right, man. So now you're going to spin that, not too... don't put so much power because you're a big guy. You're a big boy. So
I'll be gentle, but they call me the gentle giant.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get it. Oh, you good. All right, so the question is, did you go to college?
Did I go to college?
Yes,
I did.
Nice.
I went to almost 3, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I almost went to University of Lagos in Nigeria.
Oh, nice.
And then I went to Mass Bay Community College.
Yeah.
And the last one is Boston Architectural College, where I learned architecture.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So go ahead for next one.
Another spin?
Yep, another spin. You have 3 spins. All right. Almost there. Woo!
Ooh.
Okay. Places you lived.
Places I lived. Okay. It's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
So I lived in Ethiopia.
Yep.
Capital city, Addis Ababa. I lived in Belgium, Brussels.
Oh, you lived in Belgium?
Yeah, for a bit.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that.
Childhood.
So, do you speak like French? A little French?
I speak French fluently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know. Let me remember. Comment tu t'appelles? That's...
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
What's your name in French?
Oh, nice. Merci beaucoup. Those are the things that I know.
Well, you know Portuguese.
Yeah.
You know Portuguese. That's pretty useful.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So after Belgium, I moved back to Ethiopia and then Kenya, Nigeria, United States.
Nice. Wow. All right. So now let's go for the last question.
Last spin.
Yeah. Shams, can we have that? Boom. We gotta have that. Shams Vision, you already know. All right. Last one. Coolest job.
Coolest job I've done.
Yeah,
okay.
I've done. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I've done lots of jobs because I've been a contractor.
Yeah.
So when you do contract jobs, it's like for a period of time, right?
Okay.
The coolest job I've done was during COVID. I worked for a medical company.
Yeah.
And they were making ventilators. So
yeah.
So ventilators were in high demand.
Right.
And I was basically designing the production space for them.
Right.
I was going on the floor. Everything was just a mess. So they gave me the blueprints for the building, and I had to just redesign everything on the floor, so it could be like optimized for the workers to have 6 feet clearance and just make everything and production just like more reasonable.
Wow, that's really awesome.
It was a good contract job, and I loved the people I worked with. Everyone was nice, and a lot of the workers were Cambodian, so a lot of Cambodian workers there.
Oh wow! Shout out to
Cambodia,
them. Yeah, that's right.
I was trying to learn from them too, like language and stuff.
Yeah,
pretty diverse place to work. I really enjoyed it there.
I love that.
One of my favorite jobs ever.
Wow, that's really awesome. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming to the Stars in the Making. Of course, you can come back anytime, and thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you staying with us, supporting us. We love you guys. This is Ricardo Ngolo and Shams Vision, of course. We have the big boy, Philip. We out. Take care.
That was good, bro.
This was great.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Those questions too.
Yeah.